Broadcasting live from the WDCE studios out of the University of Richmond. You're listening to 90.1 FM. From the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam NewsMan. And yes, this is Saturday morning here on the 23rd day of March in the year 2024. Now, of course, it's interesting. Every single week we have what we know as the educational sessions of the show. And you might say, well, what do you mean by that, Sam? Educational sessions of the show. What I mean is that there are some things that you have no idea that you remember. No, I'm going to say that again. You have no idea what you remember. So leave it up to a professor to jar the memories of your childhood, probably better than anybody other than myself can do, and that is Professor Deep Cut Dave. Professor, are you there with us?
Well, provided the allergies let me talk, I'm here.
The allergies letting you talk, the pollen is all over the place. You know, I think it's very interesting. Everybody wants to say, oh, look at all that green stuff on my car. And all it is just tree jizz. And that's really the facts of it. It's tree jizz. Hey, just, enjoy the spring as you sneeze with tree jizz all up your nostrils. But anyways, Professor, listen, I'm going to tell you right now that there is something that you sent me something. And the first thing that you sent me, you said, hey, listen, you said, Sam, I have an idea. And I said, well, Professor, what's that? And you said, well, I think we should do something about movies. And I said, well, that's a good idea too. And so what better way to start it off than, I believe this National Lampoon's Going to the Movies? So talk to me about Going to the Movies with Dr. John, 1982. We're going to the movies. So talk to us about the movies, Professor.
Well, we got this story off of Doug Kinney. Basically, National Lampoon's Animal House has just come out. Huge hit, redefining movies, redefining comedy. So they figured, well, we better, get another film out as soon as possible. So they were, P.J. O'Rourke, he was managing editor of National Lampoon at the time. He's overseeing the writing. Well, this intern walks up and it's like, sir, I've been listening in and none of this is funny.
What do you mean none of it's funny?
Go anywhere. There's no setup. There's no punchline. Well, O'Rourke just got very smug. I thought, excuse me, who's managing editor of the world's greatest comedy magazine? I think I know a little more about comedy than you.
Right.
Well, they go see the film, and it was made in 1981, didn't get released until 1982. So technically, it's the third film that got released.
So what is it about, going to the movies? What is going to the movies all about?
Going to the movies. It's different little vignettes. They're making fun of, well, it's supposed to be making fun of like different films that were popular at the time. And like I said, they're not funny.
So they're making fun of films at the time that are not funny.
Well, no, I'm saying that the film itself's not funny.
Oh, the film is itself not funny. So
yeah, but I mean the editor, everyone, Doug Kinney's there, P.J. O'Rourke's there, the intern's there, dead silence throughout the entire film.
But National Lampoon is known for being funny. So why is it in the fact? So this is where they dropped the ball. Is this when National Lampoon's kind of went through a little bit of a slump?
Well, this was like the first slump. But like, yeah, they could actually hear their footsteps echoing as they left the theater. And O'Rourke grabs the intern by the lapels and screams, "Why didn't you tell me that script sucked?"
Well, I mean, why didn't anybody tell him? I mean, it's the so they did. Oh, they did. Oh, so they did tell him, and he just didn't like. He still just put it out anyway.
Yep.
Well, there you go. Well, it's terrible. Well, so anyways, we're going to the movies, but we're gonna sit there and just swing real quickly into animation. So the first thing is the Free Willy TV series. You know, hold me like a river, Jordan. You know, so that was the whole Michael Jackson Free Willy thing. But Free Willy ended up having a cartoon as well. You know, what's up with this orca stuff?
Well, yes, it ran 2 seasons for 21 episodes.
21 episodes. Who the hell is animating that?
Well, it was actually a joint production. Nelvana, Warner Brothers, Studio Canal, and Richard Donner's company.
And what year did this come out?
1994 to 1995.
Okay, so this is right during the time when they were trying to massage the fact that the what was it the children television legislation, you know, so it didn't really pick up until 1996, but they were sitting there trying to move into this whole direction of nature, you know, whales and you know all this other nonsense in terms of like, listen, I want to see explosions and action figures, street sharks and GI Joes and Ninja Turtles, you know, anamorphic whatevers. And then you're going to sit there and give me this Free Willy nonsense. It's about a year and a half before they all of a sudden shut down all the other cartoons. Professor, what the hell are they trying to do here? Like, listen, I don't want to watch Free Willy. Why are they giving me Free Willy cartoons in the middle of the 90s just prior to them shutting all the cartoons down to begin with?
Well, it is Free Willy, so, you know, it's free.
It is free. It is free. Another thing is free these days is getting high. I mean, like as in terms of Highlander. Highlander, there's a couple of things. Now we played three different Highlander things. We played the cartoon theme, we played the show theme, and then we played the movie theme. Highlander is very interesting. Very much about time travel. Professor, could you do me a favor?
It's flashbacks.
Okay, so do me a favor. I want you to talk a few moments about Highlander, the Highlander series, the movie, then we have the series, then we have the animated series. Could you just give us a whole education here over the next 3 minutes or so about what the hell Highlander is all about and why necessarily it's important in terms of pop culture? Because I believe that Highlander is very important in terms of pop culture, very great. But there's several different layers. There's a movie, there's a series, there's an animated series. So, Professor, the only person I know that can educate me on all of this is you. So go ahead. Like the floor is yours.
Well, Highlander, the original film that came out in 1985, Gregory Wilden had the idea, and Peter S. Davis and William Panzer kind of helped, sculpt it. Basically, the original film, well, it's about a man named Connor MacLeod. He was born in the Highlands of Scotland about 1492.
Okay.
Killed in battle about 1512. And, well, problem is he came back.
What do you mean he came back? What does that mean? Came back?
Well, he didn't die.
Okay, so the Highlander, so he died in battle, but he didn't die in battle.
Right.
Okay, so keep going.
Yeah, and it turns out there's a whole group of people called the Immortals. Basically, they fight each other. The only way to really kill one of them is to cut off their head.
Okay, so the thing is so these immortals, I guess, are they time travelers? Are they spirits? What are they?
No, they're time travel in that they live through time. Yes.
Well, yes. What? What do you mean? What does the yes mean? Like they're spirits or what's going on? I don't understand. So you said the only way that they can die is if they cut their heads off. So what is going on? So are they spirits? Is this one of those things where they're reincarnating? Like, I don't know. It seems like it's very esoteric, but I'm trying to figure it out.
Basically the same throughout the ages. Where there's only a handful of them left, they do the gathering, where they basically fight to make sure there's only one, and the last one gets the prize.
What's the prize? What do you mean we don't know? Listen, why am I going to sit there and cut? Listen, hold on, wait a minute, Professor, hold on, hold on, wait a minute. You're telling me that I got to go cut off a bunch of people's heads, and you're not going to tell me what the prize is? I know that cutting off somebody's head is, that's a very, whatever it is, I guess manly or, brouhaha, like I cut off your head, but like I want to sit there and know what the finish line is. If I'm going to sit there and race the tortoise or race the hare and cut off everybody's heads in the process, what the hell's going on at the finish line?
Well, the first film basically suggested that the prize was sort of like, well, Connor's now mortal. And also, he has like all this.
That's not good. Listen, who wants to be mortal after they're immortal? That means you're just going to die and just go into the dust. Who wants that?
Well, that probably explains why the sequels are so messed up.
Oh, yes. Well, there is sequels. Yes, Hollywood sequels.
But around 1992, they decided to revamp it just a little bit. The TV show starred Adrian Paul as Duncan MacLeod. Slightly different than Connor.
So are they related? Duncan and Connor? Is are they what's going on with Duncan and Connor? Like, is there
officially they say that they're kinsmen, they're clan, part of the same clan, Clan MacLeod.
Well, is there any point in time where Connor and Duncan have to cut off each other's heads?
Well, actually, yes, Highlander Endgame.
Oh, snap. So this all does come to, a close and a close, right? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, but not the best ending, but
all right. So it's closure, even though it's not great closure, but they did.
Well, it ran in 6 seasons and 119 episodes. I mean, somebody must have liked it.
Somebody liked it, but then there was also an animation series, which means a bunch of people had to sit there and put pen, paper, color, and whatever into an animation series. Talk to me about an animation series of the Highlander.
That ran on, that made its debut on the USA Network in 1994.
And how long did that go?
40 episodes.
40 episodes, USA. So this is one of those cable cartoons on USA Network. And who was the production company, and what was going on with this, and how does this connect to the series?
As the show.
What? Say that again. Hold on. Say that one more time. What?
The same production company as the live action show.
Oh, you mean the series?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, but how does the cartoon connect to the live action series?
I would say barely, if at all.
Okay, so go into that for just a few moments.
It takes place at several hundred years in the future. There's been a cataclysm. Connor MacLeod's dead. So basically, meteorite hits the Earth. All the surviving mortals get together. It's like, hey, let's put the game on hold. Kind of help rebuild, humanity. Get the planet back and working. Well, there's one particular immortal calling himself Cortan. Figures, well, since you guys aren't going to play the game, that means I win by default. That's really how any of this works, but okay.
Well, in terms of winning by default, who is the animation studio? I mean, you mentioned that you mentioned the studio that did the series, did the cartoon, but who did the animation?
Gamont.
And what else did they do?
Well, they did Highlander, and that was about it.
Okay, so you have this whole Highlander thing. It's just so. Can we honestly say at the moment that the Highlander animated series is just basically Highlander in name only?
Pretty much. I mean, they have. It's about a young. The immortal in that one's called Quentin MacLeod, and he's being trained by Ramirez. Now, the original Highlander film, Ramirez is Connor's mentor, played by Sean Connery. It's like, yeah, but he gets killed in the first film.
So why is he back in the animation series?
That beats me.
Well, that's why it's just kind of just thrown under the rug.
Problem is, decapitation is kind of a big thing in Highlander, And yet in TV show, it's, oh, we can take your knowledge and powers without cutting off your head.
Well, yeah, listen, you have to sit there.
People's head just psycho.
Well, listen, you can't be cutting off people's heads in cartoons for the kiddies. Come on, Professor. Right? I mean, like,
Well, that was an option. It's like, well, why weren't you doing that before?
good, touche, touche. Good call. Listen, Professor, it's always a pleasure. I think that next week we're going to be doing some Easter stuff. I believe we're going to do some Easter goodies. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but one of the things that I do want you to do is I want you to get some vitamin C. Just slam it, like 5,000, 6,000 milligrams a day. You'll get all that junk out of there, and hopefully just prepare yourself for the next batch of pollen, which will infiltrate your nostrils probably next week.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Well, Dave, you have a wonderful weekend, sir. Take care of yourself. We appreciate all that you do here on the show. All right. That is Professor Deep Cut Dave, setting the standard, raising the bar. The only way a real nostalgia professor can do. Now, I didn't know about the Highlander. I knew about the head getting cut off stuff. But then all of a sudden I was like, oh, there's a cartoon for kids. And it was like, oh, well, there's a cartoon for kids called Highlander. I don't think they're talking about cutting off people's heads in the cartoon. So, of course, Professor Deep Cut Dave tells us, and hey, this is kind of what happens, this is how it goes down, and X, Y, Z, ABC. So, well, want to thank him for that. Listen, once again, every single week around 10:40-ish is when we get Professor Deep Cut Dave here with us on the show. Let me see here. What are we going to be? What do we want to play here? What was that? Ah, yes. No, we're not going to play any of that. Too soon. Oh, we can play that. Hold on. Can we get that in? Okay. All right. So we got that. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and we'll play one little song here. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Here with another video segment here on the only radio show dedicated to the magic and nostalgia of Saturday morning, hosted by me, a real award-winning media puppet. Follow me at Sam Newsman all over social media, because that's where you'll find me, setting the standard, raising the bar, the only way a real media puppet knows how to do. Broadcasting live from the WDCE studios out of the University of Richmond. You're listening to 90.1 FM from the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell. I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Saturday morning.